thanks for joining us. For the Looking Back series, I'm Marianne Pleva. My guest today is an author, teacher, adventurer, and world traveler. Lynn Davis holds a Master of Arts degree from Trinity College. She's fluent in German and lived in Hesse, Germany, for many years, teaching German students English. A resident of Clinton, Lynn is here today to discuss her latest book, a memoir of two cities, Hartford and Tel Aviv. Welcome, Lynn.
And thank you so much, Marianne, for having me again.
Well,
I
you're
can't
welcome.
believe it's 5 years since I sat here.
How time flies, huh?
Yes, yes.
Some may remember Lynn when she wrote her first book a few years back, and she came in to speak about a Frog Hollow childhood, a memoir of Hartford. And this is that first book, as Lynn grew up in Hartford. So let's get started. So tell me about the life-changing decision you made not long after getting out of high school to do something helpful and different.
Yes, that was John Kennedy when he gave his inaugural address about perhaps doing something for your country. And I had already been overseas early, saw several countries, and went to Bermuda not long after that. But he was the inspiration for my wanting to go overseas. And I looked first into the Peace Corps, which of course he helped found, but as wonderful an organization as it is, there were no monetary attachments. So not coming from money, I needed a salary. So with the help of a librarian at our small Hartford Public Library on Broad Street, we got the address of the State Department in DC, and through a series of letters, I sent them my scant resume at the time, having graduated Hartford Public High School with honors, and worked in the Personnel Department of Travelers for 5 years, and had an associate's degree at the University of Hartford. So back and forth the letters went, and the vetting process ended in New Haven with an interview. I don't know if he was CIA or just a State Department rep. He asked me a lot of questions, and they had to be accurate or I would not get a posting. So I returned home and waited another couple of weeks, and I was in. They accepted me.
Okay.
So then I had to wait for my posting, and I had asked for a German-speaking European country or East Africa. I got Israel, and I said, Israel. I'm not Jewish. I didn't know where Israel was. It wasn't what I had asked for. However, they knew more than I knew about myself. I adored it. I adored the Middle East. I adored
If I could just get that picture of John Kennedy.
Yeah.
And the monument. What was the monument?
Yeah, the monument represents a tree cut in half because of his life being shortened, and that is in a Tel Aviv forest.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Forest in Israel.
Okay. Well, let's move along. So I wonder why young, what were you, 23 years old at the time, would leave family, friends, a good job, your beloved city of Hartford, to go abroad?
I loved Hartford. I loved growing up there, and I lived over 4 decades. It was a simpler time back in Hartford. And for example, I helped my grandmother tend her furnace in the cellar, feeding it cold nuggets, pulling out the old embers. And I loved it when the coal man came with a big burlap bag over his shoulder with the nuggets that he would send down a chute and to feed the furnace. And that actually helped my grandmother's first floor flat. It didn't do for us. Upstairs, we had what we called an oil jug, which I had to fill very often in the winter, trudge downstairs to the basement to fill it up. And that kept our flat warm because it was a cold water flat.
And I wanted to hold this book up. Can you get a close-up of this book? A children's book between her 2 books. So So that's really great. And then you had a friend do the.
Yes, Edie Twining. She's out of Old Lyme. She did the illustrations.
It's wonderful. You can do a whole tour, even as an adult, through Hartford.
And that's sort of a companion piece to the first book, Frog Hollow Childhood.
Okay, so, and you talked about how you acquired the job. Did you travel there alone, or did you?
To Israel.
Yeah.
I had, we had an orientation session in DC for 3 weeks just to acclimate everybody going to a new posting on what we could expect from the country, culturally, historically, politically. And it was there that I met 4 wonderful young women who are.
There they are. There's 3 of them anyway.
Who are on their way to a posting, and one of them was Lindsay, and we were both going to Israel, so it was very nice.
So that's the gal in the middle with the pink. Okay.
Yes. So we were we
So
socialized together
Must have been
and traveled.
comforting that you had a.
It was. I was
buddy.
the only one who had someone, and we actually what we did was we did a layover in Rome, so we had a little bit of time. So before we got to Israel.
So is there still positions like that available?
That I will say I don't know. It was
wonder.
easy then.
Yeah.
And actually what they needed were secretarial skills at the time I applied, typing, shorthand. And my mom made sure that I did have those in high school to get an immediate job.
So where were most of your coworkers from? And you must have really bonded with them, right?
Yes. They became a surrogate family for 2 years because we couldn't go home. Wonderful, dear friends. Edward came from Pennsylvania, and Bobby from New Jersey, and Anita from Oregon. So they were a hodgepodge of Americans from all over. But it not only the Americans, but Canadians and British I was close to, had met very many friends, but we socialized together, worked together, traveled together. So yeah, they became a family for me.
Okay,
Love them.
That's great. I think we're going to do a public service announcement right now, and I think it's going to be about this station that we're here at today, Valley Shore Community Television. We're back, and I'm glad you joined us. I'm still here with Lynn Davis, who is talking about her latest book, A Memoir of Two Cities, that she has written this year, right? So we're going to talk about that. So back to the Middle East, where she went and acquired a job almost out of high school. What was going on in the Middle East back then?
Well, the tensions were building even before I got there. Israel and her Arab neighbors were not getting along, and back and forth. The tensions, as I say, were rising, and it would reach a crescendo in 1967.
Okay. And was that what was called the Six-Day War?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you told me how you took the walk
Yes.
through, well, you better tell, because I'll never remember the countries. And it was not too good for your feet.
No. There were actually 2 chapters that had prominent numbers in them. The first was the 4-day march, And that was a throwback to the ancient pilgrimages to Jerusalem. And I joined about perhaps 15,000 people from all over the world to make that 12th anniversary walk from in Israel to Jerusalem. And whereas most people would train for it, I worried what I was going to wear for the 4 days.
That sounds
so
like
I used some of my vacation, and it was grueling. We began the walks 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning. You had to walk about 35 kilometers a day and get to the next site by in 10 hours. I did it. I got my diploma, I got my medal. However, my feet, legs were so bad, and I had to see a doctor and have them all fixed.
Yeah, that must have been pretty tough. What did you have on your
I wore
sneaks?
desert boots.
Desert boots,
and I could not
okay.
get the desert boots off the last 2 days. My feet were so swollen that they were just there.
Well, that made it more memorable, I guess.
It did,
huh?
yes. Yes.
And that was that was to the Holy Land. Is that-
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So your book. See, I'm going to throw my shoulder out picking it up. No, it only weighs 2 pounds.
Yeah, I know.
But it feels more like more. Well, I shouldn't discourage anyone. It's very fast and fascinating reading, but
I was long-winded.
let's see. The book is 509 pages, but who's counting? So how long did it take you to write it? Did you ever keep track?
Notes I have say I did it in about 1 year and 7 months, 55 drafts. And then what I did, I sent it to a full publishing company, Page Publishing. They accepted it, and they worked on I worked with them on the editing, but they did the page design and the photo insert. And that took probably another year. They were originally out of New York. They were out of New York when I worked on the first book, and they moved to Pennsylvania. A little bit different staff they had, so it took about 3 years to answer your question for the whole book.
That's a long time.
Yes.
But
some during the COVID period. So
and much of it's happened so long ago.
yes,
How did you ever remember?
the details. Yes.
Yeah.
Because when I, with the correspondence I had with my family back and forth, I asked them to save my letters, that perhaps I would one day do a book, better late than never, but finally I did it. They did save the letters, which I wrote almost as a journal. I was conscious of putting in detail of everything I thought, did, suffered, happened. Anyway, and so they had those together with my films, slides, and pictures. I got it all together and then decided to write it in the present tense, which gave it a feeling of immediacy and that you were actually there. And I do get a lot of positive comments on that. So
Yeah, wow, it's very well done.
thank you.
But I'm more curious about how you wrote. I mean, some people have a special place. They rent a little shack or something.
Yes.
So what was your
I
memory?
have a wonderful computer nook on the second floor, plus 4 desks throughout the house that I can choose wherever I'd like to sit. However, my favorite places were 2 beaches, the Clinton Town Beach and Hammonasset Beach in Madison. So took my sun chair, my paper, pencil, got a tan, relaxed, and wrote.
That's so
Spent a lot of time
interesting.
there.
That's so interesting. On your legal pad, on your yellow legal pad with your pencil, huh?
Yes. I always wrote on paper first.
So
and
is there a certain time of day, and how many hours a day do you think you?
No, mostly in the morning I wrote, and the first book not as long as I should have written. So with the next book I spent more time, but no, not any particular time. And I always said that I don't like to write; I like to have written.
Okay.
William Zinsser, who wrote on writing, always
Yeah.
said that.
Right, and then you edit. You like to edit.
I love editing. I love writing, and then you write this much, and then you tear it all down to its basics.
So I'll say now that Lynn and I were in a writing group at one time, long ago.
Yes.
And she excelled, and I'm still doing these shows for public access.
And actually, I was writing the first book during that period.
Yeah. So, let's see. Oh, does it get easier? Because I know this is like
No.
you count the children's book. Does it get easier?
Not really. You learn maybe from some of the pitfalls. Writing is hard. You have to have discipline and focus to write, as anybody out there knows. And the way I write that's easiest for me is I write in categories. The Frog Hollow Childhood, a memoir of Hartford, that was written with routines of childhood. Hammonasset by bus, the Cash Pay for Bragsmen, so that's how I wrote that book. The second one, the Memoir of Two Cities, again, there were categories, but it was year, so it would be really 1966, then a month, January, and then perhaps it was Tel Aviv, or it could be March, the Sea of Galilee. So that's the way I write in compartments.
And do you still journal every day?
I do, yes. I have journaled for probably over 20 years. I find journaling keeps me focused for the current day. And I write 2 pages a day. I've got maybe 120 something journals. I don't know what anyone will do with them after, if anyone wants to do a book of my life after, but what I find, you can talk to a journal. All the things that went right that day didn't go right, but mine also has a little icon of the weather, the date, how much I weigh that particular morning.
Everything.
People I email, and then the text.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
yes, I enjoy it.
So you lived in Germany for several years, right?
Seven or 8.
7 or 8, and you taught students English, and you have to tell about what your students told you, because you're still in touch
Oh, yes.
about
yes.
public access television.
Yes.
This is so interesting.
Yep. Yes, I taught in Germany for about 7 or 8 years, and that will be, I hope, my next book, my 4th book. I mean, I have a lot of time behind me, not a whole lot in front, so this has to be one that goes a bit quicker than the other ones. And I'll use the same formatting on that. I'll use the present tense. I'll use 400 or 500 letters. So if you thought I was long-winded in this book, this one will be much larger. And I did meet this August with 2 of my former students that I had in the 1970s. One became an English teacher. They were on a tour across the United States, and they left it to meet me in New York. We had a wonderful reunion. And then I brought them back to Connecticut, and we toured here. But they had seen, looking back, my first interview 5 years ago. They're waiting very anxiously
for this one.
But I
Wow.
found it amazing that it was in Europe. You can just access this.
Oh,
in
yeah, that
Europe.
was amazing to me. See, that
yes.
public access is important.
Yeah, they're lovely. They're lovely young women, and just on a PS on the German and Israel of when I think that I lived in Israel with the Jews and then eventually lived in Germany with Germans, and how the two peoples so horribly intersected in history in the 1930s and 40s. So to have lived in both of those countries was unique.
So your next book will be a novel?
Yes,
Something
that will be. Yes.
Not a novel, though, right?
No.
Another book, and it's going to be about?
That will be the German experience.
The German, okay.
My German experience.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. And that was quite different in that when I went to Tel Aviv, that was with Americans. You see, the American government sent me over. I met Americans. To Germany, I went by myself. I cried all the way over. What am I doing? I said, where am I going? I didn't have a background in teaching. However, I taught immigrants English for 3 years, and that might be why they took me on.
How is it to market this book?
Oh, to market, well,
What are your experiences?
Page Publishing does do some
Marketing,
marketing at the end. They put my books on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. They do e-books, Kindle, if you want. And but the only thing is that in the end, you end up marketing it yourself, unless you get somebody to help you, an agent. And
just have to promote yourself.
Very expensive, yes.
Yeah.
So I turn to family, I turn to neighbors, relatives, my address book. I often just write to people if I don't have a connection on the email, and send them PR sheets of the books. And
well, you're a good marketer.
Yeah,
when you stop writing, you can go into marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing.
Yeah. But it's a full-time job, Marianne, to mark. Unless you have the name Grisham, and then it's sold right off.
And you haven't traveled in a very long time now, right?
No, I haven't traveled.
No, okay.
No. Just within the state. I did return to Germany a couple of years after I returned, but no, I haven't done too much traveling.
Okay. Does anybody want to tell me anything? Do you have anything else to add? Because I think we're running out of time.
Oh, no, but I appreciate the opportunity here to promote the 3 books that I've written, and I thank all of you out there who have bought my books, have read them, commented on them.
Okay.
And so I look forward to doing the 4th one, and maybe I'll see you in a couple of years here.
Okay, we'll look forward to it. And speaking of looking, this concludes our program for the Looking Back series. I'm Marianne Pleva. I hope that you have enjoyed this program and learned from it. Shows in this series air each Monday night at 7 o'clock on cable channel 19, and are also available at other times. You can watch shows on demand by going into the station's website, www.valleyshorecommunitytv.com, and find the Looking Back series and click on one of those. Obviously, it would be the one with Lynn, the latest one. Thanks to all our helpers who helped: Ellen Farr, Cynthia Roberts, Leslie Barlow, and of course, our very special access coordinator, I'll get it, Emily Miner. So, and a special thanks to Lynn Davis. How could we do it without you? So please tune in again next time. Thanks for watching.